Welcome back to MSC 695. We're continuing on. This is going to be the third part of the video series. And today we're going to cover basically the other accounts you might open up when you're opening up a checking account. Usually you do these two things at the same time, and this is a savings account. As far as the bank's concerned, this is also considered a demand account, meaning that the money is readily available for you to have access to. The first thing that is most notably different between a checking account and a savings account is interest. The bank always pays a little bit of interest on a savings account. And generally that's because that's the main funding that they use for producing loans. Banks always want to grow their demand accounts, especially savings accounts, so that they can have funds available for lending. Now, APR is, you're going to hear that term probably very frequently when it comes to savings accounts. It stands for annual percentage rate. And that's based on 12 months, what percentage they will pay you in interest. It's very little. You'd be lucky if it's even up to maybe 1% APR if you're very lucky. Usually it's less than 1%. But generally it's just a safe way to kind of set some money aside for emergency and stuff you're not usually having a lot of access to. A lot of times you can transfer money from your savings account to your checking account, generally through online banking, or you can actually go to the bank and have them do it, or make a phone call and do it over the phone. A lot of banks, though, have a limit on the number of times per month you can do it. The typical amount is usually between 5 to 7 times a month that they'll let you transfer. Now, does that mean that you can't transfer more than that? Absolutely not. But generally what happens is, if you do it more than their set amount, they will charge you a little bit of a fee. And if it becomes a regular occurrence where you're doing this on a regular basis, most of them have policies that they will go ahead and change that savings account into a checking account, at which time you probably lose the interest that you're been accruing on it. They also have withdrawal limits, not similar probably in time frame, but a lot of times when you have a savings account, they have stricter guidelines as far as being able to withdraw the money out. As far as, larger amounts are harder to get out of a savings account than they are out of a checking account. So in that case, if you have a checking and savings account, you'd go ahead and transfer the money into your checking and then withdraw it. It would probably be easier and you'd have less headache at the bank if you do it that way. Now, one feature that some savings accounts offer is writing checks. Usually it's a very limited amount, and it's usually on for special occasions. They don't like you writing checks on it. They'd rather prefer that on a checking account, from the standpoint of it's just more secure for them to keep that money in the bank longer periods and not have it fluctuate as much, because they use that to generate loans and they have a ratio they have to keep. So that's basically it. You've got a savings account, which is nice to get some interest. You got to be careful of the transfer limits, basically out of there to your checking or some other account. They also have withdrawal limits. A lot of times the amount's usually less than the checking account, and you always want to ask them if you're able to write checks off that savings account. It's not as often as the case, but some do allow it. Thanks again for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.